hey guys, hey guys, hey guys, hey guys. Hey guys, hey guys, hey guys, hey guys. Okay, so our first video of 2026, like, period. Love that, love that. Oh, obviously, you know, or like, I still gotta get better, like, you know. Bro, my freaking cat. Hold up. Let me freaking let him in. Oh my freaking god. I don't know if you can hear that, but he's just scratching on the freaking door. Okay. I just like brought my cat back in. So, again, if y'all are new, y'all are gonna hear some traffic because my freaking apartment is like literally right next to the freeway. City vibes. Anyways. Yeah. My nails, I got my nails done, guys. They're so like perfect. Perfect and crispy. Crispy and perfect. They look so good. But yeah. So, for today's video, I'm gonna read the Let Them Theory. I'm kinda gonna use this as an excuse to like read the damn book. Like I had this book for a while and I've like only read like 2 chapters. And like, you know, so this will be motivation to read the book. And like, it'll be like ASMR audiobook, you know? So, this is gonna be like chapter 1 of the Let Them Theory. Thumbnail. Or what do they say? Thumbnail. Okay. So I'm gonna read the back real quick. This is The Let Them Theory by Mel Robbins. 2 simple words will change how you think about your entire life. If you're struggling to achieve your goals or feel a little happier, the problem isn't you. The problem is the power you give to other people. In this book, you'll learn how 2 worlds let them can set you free. Free from opinions, drama, and judgment from others. Free from the exhausting cycle of trying to manage everything and everyone around you. There is a better way to live. The Let Them Theory is a proven method that teaches you how to protect your time and energy and focus on what matters to you. You spend too long chasing approval, managing other people's happiness, and letting their opinions hold you back. Learn how to stop giving your power away and start creating a life where you come first. Your dreams, your goals, your happiness. Let Them is a simple tool that millions of people around the world can't stop talking about because it works. The fastest way to take control of your life is to stop trying to control other people and focus on what you control yourself. By letting other people live their lives, you finally get to live yours. Period. Clock that shit. as they say, let them. Period. So, introduction, my story. At the age of 41, I found myself $800,000 in debt, unemployed, and watching my husband's restaurant business crumble. It felt like we had failed at life with no hope of ever escaping the debt. To deal with anxiety and self-doubt, my main strategy became avoidance. Avoid getting up by hitting the snooze button. Avoid the pain with alcohol. Avoid responsibility by blaming my husband. Avoid looking for a job by procrastinating however I could. I endlessly watched as my friends found success after success in their careers while we struggled to get groceries on the table. I had just been laid off and had no idea what to do with my life. I'd already tried being a public defender for a legal aid society in New York City, being a lawyer in a huge firm in Boston, working for a few startups doing business development at an advertising agency, becoming a life coach, hosting a call-in radio show, and even opening a small paint your own pottery studio. I felt completely lost, like nothing I did would ever be enough to take us out of the hole we were in. If you've ever been in this situation, you understand how monumental even the simplest tasks seem. Getting out your bed, opening your bills, being fully present with your family, cooking a nice meal, applying for a job, going for a walk, canceling that subscription, or even just being honest about the extent to which you're struggling. First page, and I can relate, like everything feels impossible. Every morning when I woke up, the anxiety was coursing through my veins, and I thought, is this really what it's going to look like for the rest of my life? But you want to know the funny thing about being stuck? I know exactly what I needed to do. Get up, tackle the dreaded pile of bills, get the kids ready for school, make myself go on walks, reach out to my friends for support, make a budget, find a job, and yet I couldn't seem to do any of it. How I changed my life. I'll never forget the morning when everything changed for me. The alarm went off and there I was lying in bed, completely overwhelmed by our problems. Like so many of us, I was paralyzed by my own thoughts, and the last thing I wanted to do was get up and face another day. But then something strange happened. A thought popped into my head that would ultimately change my life. It was so simple, almost silly. I remembered watching a rocket launch and the way NASA counted down to blast off. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I thought, what if I just counted backward like that and launched myself out of bed? It seemed ridiculous, but I was desperate, so I gave it a shot. I counted backwards. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and I got out of bed. Just like that, I didn't think about how tired I was or how much I didn't want to face my problems. I simply moved before my brain had to talk me out of it. It's like launching a rocket. Once you start the countdown, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, there's no turning back. At that point in my life, I was so used to letting my thoughts paralyze me, and fear and stress consume me that the concept felt completely foreign. I remember what a revelation it was when I thought to myself, wait a minute, I can feel horrible and still do what I need to do. Yes. Mel, you can, and it worked. In those 5 seconds, I had interrupted the cycle of overthinking. It felt like a small victory, and it was also a revelation. If I could push through those 5 seconds of fear, maybe I could push through anything. So I began counting backward. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Anytime there was something I needed to do, but I didn't feel motivated to do it. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Get up when the alarm rings. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pick up the phone and start networking to find a job. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Open the bills that have been piling up for months. I started calling this countdown technique the 5-second rule. It's so simple. The moment you have the instinct to act, you have to physically move within 5 seconds or your brain will talk you out of it. Just start counting backwards. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and move. Take action before hesitation sinks in. Here's why it works. Counting backward requires focus and snaps you out of autopilot, giving you just enough to push to get along. It helps you through fear, doubt, and procrastination. Every time you count 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, it's like tipping the first domino. Momentum kicks in and boom, you're no longer thinking about what you need to do. You're already doing it. And the best part, once you start moving, it's way easier to keep going. 1 5-second move at a time. I forced myself to put one foot in front of the other and slowly step back into my life. I won't lie to you, it wasn't easy. The next couple of years were among the hardest of my life. It's not easy to claw your way out of debt or face the painful issues in your marriage. It's not easy to quiet the anxiety or push through the self-doubt. It's hard to update your resume and look for a job. When you question the value you bring, it's a grind to force yourself to get back in shape and create healthier habits after you've let yourself go. And it's definitely not glamorous to work all day, then come home, take care of 3 kids, spend a few minutes with my husband, and then stay up late every night trying to figure out ways I can make more money. And that's what I did. The 5-second rule taught me that action is the answer. Thinking about your problems will never solve them. Waiting around to feel like doing something means you'll never do it. It taught me that no one is coming to save you. You must save yourself from yourself. You have to force yourself to make little moves forward all day, every day, especially when you don't feel like it. Using 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, I pushed through the excuses, the anxiety, the overwhelm, and the fear. And step by step, day by day, week by week, I slowly took the actions that put my life and career back on track. My husband started using it to push himself to face the issues in his business head on, and it worked for him too. But it would be another 3 years later before I told anyone about the 5-second rule. I had been reluctant to share it with anyone else because first, I didn't know why it worked. Second, I didn't feel like I was in a position to give anybody advice, but all that changed one fateful day when an old roommate recommended me as the perfect person to give advice on career change at a small event. I suppose she thought of me because I had changed my career so many times, even I had lost count. The event had offered me to fly me and my husband to San Francisco and put us up in a hotel. When you're struggling financially, that sounds like a free vacation. So I said yes. This was the first time I'd ever given a speech on stage at an event. The only public speaking class I had ever taken was in high school. And as soon as I boarded the plane, that's when the panic started to sink in. What on earth have I gotten myself into? When I walked on the stage and saw 700 people in the audience staring back at me, my mind went blank, and I could feel my chest and neck turning red. I then proceeded to have a 20-minute long anxiety attack on stage about 19 minutes in. Forgot how to end my walk on career change, so I blurted out the 5-second rule and how to use it because I couldn't think of anything else to say. I must have blacked out because I also don't remember the part where I gave everyone in the audience my email address. And as I walked off that stage, I thought that was the worst experience of my life. Thank God it's over. It turns out that small event was one of the first TEDx conferences ever held. They filmed it and a year later posted the video online. Not only did it go viral, it became one of the most watched TEDx talks of all time, the 5-second rule, and its 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 countdown spread by word of mouth, spread around the world. As it spread, people started to write to me at that email address, sharing stories about how the rule was changing their lives. I was so moved by people's stories that I would sit up late at night after I had put out 3 kids to bed, answering their emails one by one. When I had been drowning in all my problems, I felt like I was the only one who had trouble doing the things I needed to do. It's not true. We all struggle with motivation. It's a universal problem, and the 5-second rule seems to be the solution that not only works for me, but also works for people all over the world. The stories are amazing. People had to use the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 to push through fear, procrastination, and excuses to change jobs, lose 100 pounds, get sober, launch and sell businesses, improve their health and marriages. The medical and clinical uses blew me away. Doctors and psychologists were using it to treat PTSD, OCD, and depression. Even as I'm writing this introduction, we have heard from over 1,000 people who have used the 5-second rule to stop themselves from attempting suicide and ask for help. As that TEDx talk became more and more popular online, I started getting invited to speak at other small events. I remember being asked to talk to a group of real leaders at a bar. It was embarrassing standing there with a beer in my hand trying to talk over the music and people gabbing in the next room. But I survived. I spoke in a church basement, a high school classroom, then a friend's brown bag lunch at work, and it just grew from there. I would break out in hives as I held the microphone, and I wasn't getting paid. But the more I talked about the rule and saw how powerful it was for everyone who tried it, the more I became obsessed with understanding why such a simple act could lead to such profound results. So I put my lawyer hat on and started researching habits, human behavior, and the science of motivation. I needed to make a case. Why does counting 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 work? I gathered evidence from the experiences of ordinary people who had been using it. I found compelling precedent from the accounts of therapists, addiction specialists, and medical doctors who had begun recommending it to their patients, and all the evidence pointed to a simple explanation. Small, consistent action changes everything. Meanwhile, my friends and extended family had no idea what I was doing because I was too scared to tell them. Mel, give me advice. Give me a break. She nearly destroyed her own life. At this point in my story, my husband had left the restaurant business and was struggling with depression. We were still drowning in debt, so I was working a full-time job trying to keep our family afloat while dedicating nights and weekends to speaking at small events and basically writing a dissertation on the science of motivation on the side. I knew I wanted to teach the 5-second rule full-time and somehow make this my career, but I didn't know how. Looking back, I can see how paralyzed I was with imposter syndrome. What right did I have to call myself an expert at anything? I suppose I was just waiting for some kind of permission to put myself out there. Maybe you're doing that right now, waiting for the right time, waiting to feel ready for the less afraid, waiting for someone to come along and tell you that today is the day to start. The problem with waiting is no one is coming. The only permission you need is your own. Deciding to get serious about trying to make money as a motivational speaker was one of the best decisions I've ever made in my life. I'll share more with you about what led to this breakthrough in the pages of this book. Once I started getting paid, I put every dollar toward chipping away at her debt. The first year, I gave 17 paid speeches. The next year, it was 47, and I was able to quit my day job. I couldn't believe what was happening. By the third year, it was 99 speeches, plus a 24-city tour with J.P. Morgan Chase. I had become the most booked female speaker in the world. I was being hired by companies I admired. How did this happen? By forcing myself out of bed on those mornings I didn't feel like it. Learning how to push yourself to take actions when you are afraid or full of self-doubt or overwhelmed with excuses is a life school you can learn. Once you master it, you'll understand that you can achieve anything through small, consistent move forward. I found myself on the road 150 days a year, standing on stages, teaching the 5-second rule and the science of motivation, while my husband stayed home and took care of our 3 kids. Like, boss shit, but like, just kidding. No, I'm playing. professional athletes, medical doctors, neuroscientists, and best-selling authors have begun recommending my work to others. I started a newsletter because I no longer had time to respond to people's emails personally. I eventually wrote to the team at TEDx and asked if they could remove my email from the video online. When people would ask if I had a PhD or if I was a therapist, I would say no. I learned everything the hard way by screwing up my own life and then having to fix it. That part. When people would ask, armed with experience, evidence, testimony, and research, I was finally ready to make my case in the form of a book. In 2017, I self-published The 5-Second Rule. The 5-Second Rule went on to become the most successful self-published audiobook in history and the 6th most read book of the year on Amazon. That book has now been read by millions of people and translated into 41 languages. Over the years of traveling across the country speaking on stages, I learned 3 important things. First, most of us are just trying to do our best to get ahead, pay our bills, raise a family, fall in love, have more fun, and reach the potential of our lives. We're just looking for simple ways to be a little happier and make our lives a little better. And we're not only looking for those resources for ourselves, we're looking for the people in our lives who need them too. Second, I've been told over and over again that I have the amazing ability to distill complex ideas and scientific research into simple, actionable advice that anybody can use to improve their life. And third, nothing brings me more joy than sharing what I am learning with people like you. I have made it my mission to find and share simple tools to help anyone create a better life, and this simple part is key. Sorry guys, my leg fell asleep and then I dropped the microphone. For example, did you know that high-fiving yourself in the mirror is one of the fastest ways to rewire your mindset for self-confidence? Me either. I once learned about it. I dug into the research, and it became the topic of my New York Times bestseller, The High-Five Habit. The more results people achieve using the 5-second rule and the High-Five Habit, the more organizations, media companies, and corporate brands ask me to create programming for their teams and audiences. So in 2019, I launched 143 Studios, a Boston-based media production company that produces award-winning content events, audio series, online courses, journals, books, and professional development education for partners like Starbucks, Audible, Ulta Beauty, JP Morgan Chase, LinkedIn, and Headspace. In 2022, we launched and started producing the Mel Robbins podcast, which airs in 194 countries and is one of the top-ranked podcasts in the entire world. We've created free online courses that more than 1 million students have completed, and a little newsletter I've created way back when it's now read twice a week by 1.5 million people. You can learn more about my media production company and the podcast, my newsletter, and our courses at www.melrobbins.com. For everything I have accomplished, I had no prior experience or the proper credentials to pursue. I just made myself do it. I was 41 when I hit rock bottom and created the 5-second rule to help me get out of bed. I was 44 when I had the anxiety attack on the TEDx stage. I was 46 when I got my first speaking paycheck. I was 49 when I self-published my first book, The 5-Second Rule. I was 50 when I started my media production company, and I was 54 when I launched the Mel Robbins podcast, one of the most popular and fastest growing podcasts in the world. My life didn't change because of one thing I did. It changed because of the thousands of mornings where I woke up and didn't feel like getting in bed. But 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 made me do it. Changing my life wasn't glamorous. It was grueling. I didn't achieve success or financial freedom because of some secret. I did it because I was willing to do what most people won't. I woke up every day, and regardless of how I felt, I kept slowly chipping away at my goals for over a decade. A painstakingly slow process. Some days, all I focused on was trying to be a little better than I was the day before. Often, that's all you need to do. I'm not special or different or gifted or lucky. I just found the tools that worked for me and I used them. Today, my entire career and life's purpose is sharing those tools with you. I don't say any of this to brag. I say this to tell you that you have no idea what you're capable of, and neither did I. Through action, I have achieved some extraordinary things, and so can you. You'll never feel ready to change your life. One day, you just get tired of your own excuses and force yourself to do it. You're never going to feel like going to the gym. One day, you just make yourself go. You're never going to feel like having that hard conversation. One day, you get sick of avoiding it, and you force yourself to have it. You'll never feel like looking for a better job. One day, you just push yourself to start looking. The 5-second rule will help you push through your own internal obstacles and take action when you don't feel motivated to do so. And if you use it for long enough, you'll be shocked by what you can achieve. The 5-second rule works because it helps you win the internal battle you have with yourself. But here's what it can and can't do. That was the introduction, y'all. The introduction. I want to make this a series of like reading it chapter by chapter, which I probably will because that was really fun to read. And like I said, we're holding us both accountable, you know. I'm trying to see how much chapters. There's 20 chapters. And that was just the introduction. That was really motivating. I really like that. So I hope y'all really like that reading of the just the introduction. I hope you use this video as like a background or to go to sleep or just to like genuinely listen to like the passages and the summary of action and how it will change your life and just live in your life, you know, like yeah. Everything will work out. Everything will work out. You are fine. You are okay. You are okay. And I will be posting more consistently because I love ASMR. But like and subscribe, comment a random emoji because like swag. But see y'all later.